what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, what's up? My name is Shelby. Today I'm going to be talking about how I applied to be able to work and travel in Canada through InterExchange. If you didn't know, or if you're new to my channel, I recently moved from the US to Canada to come here on a 1-year IEC or International Experience Canada visa. So I am really excited to be sharing the process with you, kind of like how I got here, my life here now, and everything like that. So if you're interested in learning how I moved to Canada, I would love it if you stick around, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would mean so much to me. Give this video a big thumbs up if you're feeling the vibes, and turn on the post notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video, and let's get into it. Okay, so if you are on this video, I'm guessing you're probably looking into options of trying to move to Canada. So if you didn't know, I am a US citizen and I recently moved to Canada. And to come to Canada as a US citizen, you're limited to your options, especially when it comes to like a working holiday visa, which is what I'm on now, the IEC visa. So basically what it is it allows those to live in a different country for a year or 2 years, depending on the country you're from, and work and travel throughout that time. However, for US citizens, unfortunately, we cannot just get that visa by applying for ourselves. There's a lot of countries that can apply directly to it and don't need a sponsor to be able to do it. However, as Americans or US citizens, we need an RO, recognized organization, sponsor to help us to get to Canada, basically. So I did my research. I was looking on the Government of Canada website, trying to look at what visas I could do to try to get to Canada. And this visa was the one that I wanted to do the most because it seemed like the most flexible and gives you more options to decide later on if you want to make Canada more permanent for yourself or not. So I was looking and I saw that you have to go through an RO, recognized organization, and I was searching through the ones and kind of price checking to see which ones would be able to offer me the most bang for my buck. And then I came across InterExchange and Swap. So Swap is basically the program that is in Canada, and once you move to Canada, they're the ones who support you, and InterExchange is in the US, helping you basically at the start of your application process and giving you all the details of how to apply and that type of thing. So first I want to just talk about my process with InterExchange and Swap. It has been really good so far. They're super responsive. If you message them, they respond to emails quickly, and they are on top of everything that they know, and they're very helpful and put your mind at ease. So to talk about the pricing this year, if you want to apply, basically you kind of have to pay them because they give you this letter and they're helping you with all the support. So it could be a bit costly. However, if it is something you really want to do, I think it's worth it because they also help you through the process and have like an extensive to-do list, or like, what is it, like checklist of what you have to do to apply. So it makes it really easy. So it costs $8.95 to get them as help, and basically you need an RO sponsor as an American to come to Canada. So $8.95 is basically what you're paying them for their services and for them to provide you a letter when you do your application process. That letter helps you basically apply as an American citizen. So they provide you that letter, and then once you're in Canada, Swap is the one who will basically help you. They have a little bit of an onboarding in person. They have an office in Toronto and Vancouver, so you can come do a little onboarding session, ask them any questions, and they do like monthly events, which I haven't gone to an event yet, but they send out a monthly newsletter basically with events they're having around the city in Vancouver or Toronto. And then they also give updates on like immigration. If you're looking to extend your visa, they can't give you all the details, but they have info sessions like that, and also an info session on taxes because tax season is coming up soon, and that's something I haven't done in Canada yet. So that's a little bit about my experience with Exchange and Swap. They've made it really easy. It has been great working with them, and yeah, it's been a very smooth process from the start. And then as far as moving to Canada, hold on, I gotta adjust my posture. I'm like sitting on my knees and it's starting to hurt. Where did we leave off? So basically, yeah, my experience has been good so far. I want to talk about just living in Toronto, cost of living, that type of thing. And if you have any questions on the previous, like InterExchange or Swap, feel free to message them. They're really helpful and will answer any of your questions. So if you have something very program specific, please reach out to them and ask them. But if you have anything like questions for me about daily life or cost of living, things like that, please comment down below. I'm happy to answer any questions. I got you. It can be scary to move sometimes. I've moved a lot in my life. I've lived in Japan, I've lived in New York, I lived in Chicago. I've moved around a lot, so I understand what it's like. It can be scary, but it's okay. Trust the process. It will be fine. So yeah, basically, I think for me, moving here isn't as hard as maybe for some others. I moved around a lot in my 20s, I would say. I think I've moved every year since university. So I've moved quite a lot, and I moved to a different country before, one that doesn't even speak English. So I think that coming to Canada is a lot easier because everyone speaks English here, which is a huge help. At least almost everyone. Maybe if you go to some parts of Quebec, probably not, but mostly everyone in like Toronto and Vancouver will speak English, which makes it really easy. And I would say cost of living, it's actually quite pricey in Toronto, I'm not gonna lie. I was just living in New York last year and I moved to Toronto, and I thought things would be a little bit cheaper, but honestly I think things are more expensive. Groceries, drugstores, shopping online is crazy expensive. I feel like things like my monthly bills here seem more expensive than they were in New York, which says a lot. However, I do think living wise, like rent is a little bit less costly here than New York. But with that said, Toronto is still pretty pricey. I recently moved into this place here with my significant other, and we pay about $2,900 for a 1-bedroom plus den. So it can be quite costly if you're coming from smaller states or something where the cost of living is way more affordable than here, or if you're not used to big city prices, it can be pretty costly. So make sure you save up money, and obviously maybe one of the goals while you're here is to get a job. So as far as like cost of living, yeah, I think it's pretty pricey here. But then if you're coming here and you're like, how do I find work, that type of thing, InterExchange does do a job placement. I think you pay like $200, something like that. They can help you get a job placement when you move here. However, if you're like me, I searched for jobs before coming here. As you know, if you're familiar with my channel, I went to fashion school and I love fashion, and fashion really is my passion in life. So I looked for jobs within the fashion industry that I could find. I would say the job that I have is a full-time salary job, which not everyone coming here on the IEC visa may be trying to do. However, I do work full-time in a big corporate company that is huge across Canada and the US and globally. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get the job offer and start a week after moving. I actually got the job offer before even moving here, so I was set up for a job before moving here. So if you have like professional experience, I think that you definitely can find a job. You just have to be honest with your employer and let your employer know that you basically can't complete all your paperwork until you move here. So that's just the gist of that. And then as far as like regular type of jobs, like food industry, retail, I think that's easy. There's so many jobs, and Swap, the Canadian partner, has a job board as well. And there's just so many jobs, like check out LinkedIn, that type of thing. So I don't think it would be hard for you to get a job if that's your concern, especially if you're coming from America and speak English. Like, I don't think getting a job is gonna be a big issue for you. So that's kind of it on the job aspect. And in general, like, I'm really liking Canada so far. I think it was a little bit hard at first because I only knew my boyfriend who's here and I didn't really know anybody else. So I've been putting myself out there. I have been trying to meet new people. I've been, you know, walking around, exploring the different neighborhoods. And honestly, Toronto is a really lovely city and people are pretty nice here compared to New York, even though in New York they keep it real and here maybe not so much. But other than that, you know, I have had a great experience so far. So I hope that you enjoyed this video about my time so far living and working in Canada. If you have any questions on Toronto as a city itself or anything like that, daily life stuff, I'm happy to answer your questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you felt the vibes, and turn on post notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.